Hey, good morning, Kevin. Good to see you. Good to see you, friend. I wanted to start with, I don't know if you can hear the metronome, if it's close enough to the rig or what. But let me just move this over here and see if we can get that a little closer. I'm making a few adjustments so that we can observe the right hand, but that's not really helpful, is it? Good morning. Good morning. I was just thinking about what about I want to really get through my finger warm-ups today still. So how do you guys feel about using this time to the last 15 minutes? We'll start working. I'm still finger styling today, and then I wanted to model what it's going to look like for me to just work through. Oh, good morning, Rhoda. Good morning. Oh, let's see. It says I'm live right now, so maybe I should get looking at what's going on. So bear with me for one moment, please, and thank you so kindly. Hey, we ended almost on time yesterday. 1 minute over. Oh, we have Raul. Good morning. Salve Regina. All right, so good. And we have Rota, Lever, hello from Brazil. Robbie, we've got Mr. Smith in the house this morning. We've got Marlon Grubbs going. All right, this is going to be a good day. I can sense this already. Even though I haven't had a sip of bean yet, I can already sense it. Yesterday, I was enjoying a little bit of the tonic water in the morning, a little tonic and orange. I really enjoy that tonic and orange combination with ice in it, the crushed ice. Just a super combination to get things kick-started in the morning for me. So, no further injuries to report from snow removal yesterday. So the plan for today is, it's a great day. We're watching, geez, I've still got to just get this right here. The right hand isn't going to be all that visible yet. So this is what we're going to do. This is an approach angle. Not all that natural for me. So let me change. I appreciate your patience while I adjust and make a couple adjustments here for the sake of I think this is a pretty good angle. Everybody pretty much knows what's going on. The finger performance, the finger regimen is all pretty well established, so we won't spend a whole lot of time there, and we'll cater mostly to watching what the right hand's doing today. And what I propose to do, because we do want to get through the finger exercise, which we didn't get all the way through yesterday, but I do want to get through it today. And what we'll do is we'll get a quick reference tone. I think I'm in good shape, but here's A440. Mark. And that's fret 5. There we go. And I think we're good. I think we're in good shape. Tune it up, Buttercup. I'm on it. I think we're in pretty good shape. So what I'm going to propose we do this today is we're still engaged in fingerstyle week, but what I'm going to do is just start mirroring And for some reason, YouTube hasn't corrected the camera flip on me, so I'm sorry if you are suffering through this, but what we'll do is we'll work on improving this with YouTube as we proceed. So fingers 11 and fingers 3 and 4 on 11 and 12. And what we're going to do is 4 attacks per beat. Today we're thinking 1 E and a 2 E and a Jason Bender's in the house, and then we're doing fingers 3 and 4, and I'm just going to run through all of this. And if you're playing with a pick today, that's great. Maybe what we'll do is stand up today. So we'll get through this, we'll proceed through this exercise, and we'll go ahead and stand up today. If you're just tuning in, we're working on Fingerstyle Guitar Week, and this is all about index middle fingers today. Just, you know, minimizing economy of movement and efficiency of movement. It's the Department of Guitar Efficiency. Let's go ahead and stand this up. Let's go ahead and do that today. I think that will be a really good idea. Let's try it. See what we can do. And maybe we can do the old, adjust the old angle of the dangle. So we've got the, here we go. Yeah, there we go. So we're starting with index and middle fingers on the right hand, and now I can't see the comments. This is a real challenge for me this morning. I'm not sure why. Good to see you tonight. My uncle was telling me that in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, Bob Dylan is going to be alive this March, and the high school, only $200 of tickets will be sold. Wow. Jeez, what an awesome opportunity. Mr. Dylan is like, you know, he's just a national treasure, international treasure with his writing skill, you know. Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look. Fingers 3 and 4, 2 and 3. Sorry, here we go. Frets 11 and 12, and then all I'm doing with my right hand is using index and middle fingers. Index, middle, index, middle. All right. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4, and getting through this. So this would be what happens to, you know, a fingerstyle player. All of the things that we do to build up our fingerstyle technique is that everything is going to be, you know, based on pretty much index and middle fingers. But if we wanted to, we have the fingers 3 and 4 to develop at the same time. Those would be developed and deployed at, you know, pretty much the same time as the other finger, you know, index and middle finger. We wouldn't want to lose an opportunity to include those fingers. I think I saw a Tony Williams video up on Scott Fish's YouTube this morning or yesterday. What an awesome thing to hear. We're talking about blues tonight too at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live stream, free live stream. So we have the fingers 1 and 2 on frets 11 and 12. And we're just going to smoke right through this exercise. And if you're not able to hold up, it's okay if you want to let me know. We can slow it down. We can slow this bus down, or we can just, you know, run back and rewatch it. You know, rewatch the live stream at your leisure on demand. So top of fret to position 2, 3, 4, 1 E and a E and a. You know what to do, E and a. So you know what to do, E and a. Yeah, just working through this finger. If you're just jumping on board this morning with us, we're working through the Fingerstyle exercises that if we wanted to explore the world of Fingerstyle, Fingerstyle doesn't always mean, you know, like finger picking, you know, like the beginning of Stairway to Heaven or Babe I'm Gonna Leave You or whatever, you know, that there's a Anthony was mentioning yesterday that he just bought the, you know, the Chet Atkins songbook, and I know if anyone's going to get through that book, it's going to be Anthony. So it's a great, you know, great studies. We listened a little bit to Chet yesterday, and you know, had a wonderful day because of it. So let's do fingers 2 and 4 now. We're doing the old finger 2-4 stretch. So we use 1 E and a 2 frets 9 and 12 and a go E and a. Or tie my shoe. This is a practice. If you're just tuning in, what happens is we're all engaged every morning, and at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, people bring the guitars from all over the world, and we practice a morning ritual for guitar growth. And so what we're doing is improving our guitarness. We're improving our breath and our mechanical approach to the guitar. If this is something that you're interested in, if you have any lofty goals set for the year of 2025, we'll be here all year, every morning, every weekday morning. Now back to fingers 1 and 3, and here we go. 1 and 3, 9 and 12. 1 E and a. Today's a Fingerstyle day. 4 E, part of Fingerstyle week. And I invite you all to study the right hand. This is just modeling what's a potential starting point for you. You know, obviously you're the one playing the guitar, so you're going to need to, you know, eventually just go through the motions and figure this out. But what this does, this gives us access to some things that we cannot do with the pick. And then the pick gives us some things that we cannot do with the Fingerstyle. So there's some legitimacy to want to get this. I mean, you've seen Matteo Mancuso play guitar, right? So he's got this really ripping, like raging Fingerstyle technique. And I'm borrowing from wow, you play with your left. So yeah, we've been talking with YouTube about this. Our camera is it's sharing my video flipped, so I can't fix it on my end. I can't fix it on settings. I can't fix it in the YouTube. I'm streaming right now with my old iPhone XS Max, and maybe that's the problem. Could be that's the problem. Who knows? But it doesn't have that awesome sauce in it like the other ones do. But it's a known issue, and they're working on it. I guess probably they'll fix it. It never used to happen, apparently, but now it's flipped. But just think of it as a mirror, maybe. I don't know. Hopefully it's not off-putting too much. Let's go ahead and do fingers 3 and 4, but we're going to stretch fingers 3 and 4. We're using index and middle fingers in the right hand to just kind of keep things walking up the fretboard, and you're going to really find that your thumb is really the zero, the home, you know, plate, or the it's a place where we can rely on to find a spot to remember to come back to for once we do a stroke with the index finger. The strokes with the index finger don't happen like, it's not like we try to claw our way in, we don't go all the way into our palm. Like, what we're thinking is if we went all the way into the palm, we have a long finger. I'm thinking more in terms of each finger being a wand, including the thumb. So when the thumb starts to be used later today, the whole thumb kind of commits to this movement, right? And arched halfway between the elbow and wrist, like on the round part, you know, the butt of the guitar here. And let's go ahead and take a look at fingers 3 and 4. That's what we're doing with the right hand. So left hand, we have fingers 3 and 4 on frets 10 and 12, and this happens every day at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's free. It's a growing situation where we see new faces all the time. And we start with breath, tune up, and then we start hitting the road. So let's take a look. Fingers 3 and 4. 1 E and a 2 E and a 𝗵𝗂, and I forget how it's, 1 Z and a 2 Z. It's going to take me a minute to get that going. So I'm really working on developing tone from my right hand right now. This would be like alternating strokes with the pick, you know, like down up. You know, it's index, middle, or down up. So if you're playing with a pick, you can follow along for sure. We're just really working through this left hand exercise because we, you know, we have some Jon Petrucci style exercises we want to start folding into this mix, and I can't do it until I start, you know, rewarming my left hand, or my fretting hand. This is a great little stretch here. We're on positions 10 and, we're on position 9, but we're going to stretch finger 3 and kick by default finger 4 up 1 fret. So we're working on a second finger stretch. Second finger and third finger stretch, and you're about ready to witness me just crumble here. No, I don't think so. I won't crumble, but it is a little painful. It's one of those things that these are everyday exercises that I'll do every day this year for 1 hour every morning. And over the course of the day, if I wanted to ramp anything up, if I wanted to, you know, bring it up to 90 beats per minute or 160 beats per minute with 16th note triplets on the top, I'm going to work that over the course of the day. But every morning we're going to be at 60 beats per minute, so it's like church. It's reliable. My intention is to just create an environment where we can, you know, kind of hang out relatively easily with each other and just do this. 1 E and a 2 E and a finger 2 and 3. Please teach me a power chord. Hey Dan, good morning crew. Mirror works. Right, it does, but I can't seem to, I had it set on mirror yesterday and it still sent the same image, didn't it? It is an Ibanez. Frank Sinatra, yeah, you got it. This is feeling really good for me this morning. For some reason, like that Monday, I don't know if the Monday was tough for anybody else, but Monday was really tough for me yesterday personally. So we've got a, you know, the morning ritual to get here, to sit down. Like I really had to be disciplined to get here, to make it here and sit down. So this is part of why I'm doing this. So it encourages me to really be here and do the seat time, right? I would likely do it anyway, but this is definitely helpful for me. 1 E and fingers 1 and 2. We're going through 10 and 12. 1 E and a 2 E and a D E and a 𝗏 and a. It is an Ibanez guitar. This finger stretch feels really good. This one is really. It's really doing its job. My thumb is right on the back of the guitar neck. down there low and kicked way back between fingers 1 and 2. And what I'm looking for is a clean round tone on each note. And we're going to fret to stretch fingers, let's see, 2 and 4. 1 E and a 2. Floyd Rose, is the Floyd Rose floating on that guitar? It is. So the really fun thing about this is we can find other notes that we would know, normally bend up to. We can get familiar with how to work that as another sort of like adjuster for pitch on the instrument. It's a really fascinating thing to me, these floaters. So let's take a look at 2 and 4. 1 E and a 2 E and a you know what to 2 E and a frets 9 and 12. And then this is still, day 2 of fingerstyle week. So what we're doing is kind of like pushing the envelope a little bit. I mean, to think that if you were just starting out with fingerstyle and using index and middle fingers walking up and down the string, this particular exercise that we've been doing for all of January with a pick, I think it's a big ask. But you all know that I like the big asks. So I think what we do is we just kind of buckle down and really just focus on just getting this up to speed today, and this will open up the rest of our week a little bit. You'll notice that when my thumb is, I have easy access to, any of the notes on the guitar neck, because my thumb is tracking the movement of my picking hand in parallel at all times, right? So that's a really cool thing to have, like, 5 picks. Mr. Who's the 𝗵𝗃 guitar player? Tim, right? Mr. Henson. He's definitely using all digits on his right hand. It's a cool thing to witness that. And to witness how all of those digits can come together and perform this really cool percussive, thing that is sort of a fresh sound on the guitar. And I would probably try doing that stuff, in just smaller, simpler exercises. But that's not today. Today we're starting with third fingers. How's this going to work? I have 3 digits on the fret hand, and then with frets 10, 11, and 12, and then I have 2 digits that I'm working. Some coal stove, some coal, some carbon burn off there. So what we've got here is, 2 digits here, 3 digits here. So how does that work in terms of keeping everything aligned? It's a little bit of a tongue twister for me. It's like I really have to focus on putting the right foot forward every time, and it's challenging for me. So I'm assuming it could be challenging for you too. So, but we'll go ahead and I'll model it, and then if you wanted to work this over the span of the day, you're more than welcome to. Fingers, and this will post, and you can kind of just rewatch this on demand. We are doing a blues session tonight at 6 p.m. So you have to look for that live on the channel, and it's just a really cool blues Kickstarter program, and we're really only working with 2 or 3 or 4 notes, I think, maybe 5 notes, but it'll be a really fun time. 1 E and a 2 E and a 2, 3 and 4 E and. Oh yeah, no kidding, Mark. Yeah, the thumb, it does really feel great to work that right hand. Gotta sit down for this one. Yeah, don't forget if you're new to the channel, you know, if you're just popping in, don't forget your helmet and chin strap, you know what I mean? Gonna definitely need that one. And then what I'll do is I'll drop, you know, when I start exposure is the killer here, right? It's always this sort of the killer. I want to mitigate that open string exposure while we're running single note lines. So what I'll try to do is get that first finger. It's really hard for me to talk over this, but I'm really trying my best. It's the first finger is right behind the fret hand, just kind of keeping all of those strings kind of quiet. And we've reached the place from whence we came, so we'll stop there. Take a deep breath and celebrate that we survived it. And just it feels like it's almost stretch time. It feels like we're a little beyond stretch time, actually. So before we get into the four-finger wonder, I'm going to just take a second here and stretch, if you don't mind. Straight elbows, just pulling back 15 clicks. And if you're just tuning in, now's a great time to just repeat what's going on here. Every morning this year, 2025, every weekday morning, we're going to be here. We have been here. We're going to be here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you have lofty guitar goals, if you have any guitar goals, like there are some really great guitar players in this live chat that are just like crushing it in their own guitar lives and just hammering on it. And some of us really want to go for it this year. This is the year of the guitarist, and at least for me it is, and at least for others in this live stream it is. So you can tune in for free every morning, every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's an hour session. We just kind of plan on it, map it out. If you can't make it in the morning, we repost the full sessions with the live chat. We preserve the live chat so it'll feel like you're working in a live environment with us, so you can watch it on demand at any time after this thing posts live, you know. But it's here for everybody. We're trying to reduce barriers. We're working on entrance, reducing the barrier for entry to the guitar. The guitar is by nature a relatively affordable instrument, and it's super portable. So what we want to do is just promote. We want to place ourselves in the position to promote the guitar and all of the wonderful things. I mean, it can introduce us to some pretty negative lifestyle, but we're all we've all been aware of that through watching the crippling effects that that negative stuff had on like Seattle and that kind of. So we're all pretty much, we're aware of the things that are associated with this kind of business potentially. So, but we have so many wonderful things that this line of this profession can afford for the individual who wants to put the time into it. And it's no joke. Like, I literally just put all of the time into it, put my time in, and showed up. And then the next thing you know, you're traveling the world. So it's just what you want to do. Don't set your goals too low, because that's where maybe that we introduce points of failure. So high, big, lofty goals. That's the way we work around here, right? And if you actually wanted to talk about goal development, where we are, oh my gosh, I need to get back to playing, and I'll continue that babble in a second. Let's take a look at this. So fingers 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're starting on position number 9, and then 9, 10, 11, and 12. And we're still using index, middle, index, middle, index, middle, index, middle. Oh, we could be using like 3 fingers too to really speed things up, but it's that we'll get to that a little later. But last 15 minutes, so somebody remind me at 45 minutes in that we're going to work on some really cool like fingerstyle, typical like basic fundamental forward, reverse rolls, combination rolls, so that we can really get these moving today. and we'll apply those to some of the Ted Green chords that we've been working through, because they'll be really interesting, have these really interesting sounds that we can really just have fun exploring. So let's take a look at fingers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1E and one Z and a 2Z, and putting on my shoe. I feel like Frank Zappa saying stuff like that. That's the first time I've ever felt like Mr. Zappa, late great Mr. Zappa. Wow, I remember we used to just put his apostrophe Overnight Sensation album in the old Sab in high school, and we just drive around for hours listening to Zappa. You know, myself, my person, and a few of my friends. Some were musician friends, some were just music enthusiasts, and we'd all just listen to, I think Pearl Jam's 10 came out right around the time we were listening. We got hip to Zappa. So we had a pretty cool little mix. You know, we'd carry around that huge binder of CDs, and someone in the back seat was always in charge of like pulling the next. We'd pop the CD out of the disc player, and then we'd have, you know, someone would put that disc back while we'd get the other disc out, and we'd, you know, pop I am the slime from the video. It just had so many wonderful messages, and the musical excellence on those albums and the fact that he was such a prolific writer and recording artist, performing artist. He sort of set a new standard, right? What do those pull-offs really feel like? Are they supposed to sound like that? Each note should be distinguished from the other and indistinguishable from whether it's being plucked or not, right? So the generated tone on a pull-off, I really need some positive action on, and I really need some tearage over here on the fret hand. But as we progressively remove fingers, we run the risk of bending the string out of tune. So we need, while we're pulling down with this finger is pushing up slightly to counter the down pressure. Oop, and then we have to obviously quickly get back to the 0 position. So the pull off, in my mind, is a really very highly calculated. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that we don't really always take the time to appreciate. I don't anyway. Kevin, thank you. Your stretching is important. Yes, it is. That's why we do this. Dale, good to have you here. Thank you very much for being here. Mr. Haas, thank you. Jason, you're doing a great job. And Goo, comrade. Padre Romano. Go, 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 comrade. All right, got it. All right, so we're now stretching the 4th finger, and we're approaching the 45-minute marker. So we're just going to continue with these warm-up exercises, the chromatic style work. Still using fingerstyle week, day number 2 in fingerstyle week. And I can feel my back. My pelvis is starting to kick back and lean back, and it's going to cause back injury. So what I'm going to do is push this, kick this forward like I'm descending. Like if I'm descending, I've got a 40-pound or 50-pound pack on, and I'm on the descent, and I've got my limbers on, and I'm coming down Katahdin or Mount Washington, or Grand Teton, or so I've got this hip is pushing forward, and I'm using my the big tissue in my thighs to support my back. Nobody ever taught me this. I had to figure this out on my, imagine this, like I went through private lessons since I was like 8, and went through private lessons all through that time, through high school, went through music school, and nobody ever taught me like good body posture when holding the guitar in a live performance. And I had a performance concentration in my jazz and contemporary degree program. I don't ever remember anybody talking to me about reducing workplace injury by being mindful of posture. So I'm going to do that because I feel it would be of value. So that is going to be something that I continue to recommend. And always, if you have a belt on, I'm always, obviously sliding it off to the side. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to start with that finger four stretch, but keep that posture, grounded. One E and a two Z and a putting on my shoesy. It's good sort of to keep moving around a little bit too, because I think it could be a little sedentary to just stand there all night, but it's a good idea to just, that's a good rest posture to come back to after you're done jumping off the speakers and stuff like that and crowd surfing. Did you ever crowd surf? Do you know what I mean by crowd surfing? We used to have a singer who used to love to do that. He'd like jump out into the crowd and all of the hands would just like support him. Oh yeah, yoga, super idea. I would prioritize that like after eating, sustenance, food and water, and acts of love. I would prioritize like yoga right up to the top. Would you? And where would you place it in your day to day? Play hot dog, 𝗙𝗵𝘁𝗴𝗏. Yeah. I'm in a similar place with you, Anthony. This is a good, solid recommendation, and you're hearing it. We're doubling down on it. We're taking a minute to observe how important this is by breaking. So yoga is available most of the time on public broadcast for free. You can find a good class. If you can find a guru who's been there and done that, that's even better. There's one here near me, and only one, and others are good, but not, that good. And the one that I use on Apple TV, I like to hang with 𝗔𝗔𝗃𝗃. She's really good at what she does, but I know you won't believe I did yoga yesterday for the second time in my life. It was great. Need more mobility and flexibility. Yeah, man, I thought I was going to have back surgery, dude. So let's start on position 9 with kick that first finger back. And then, everybody else would have gone to the surgeon or something, you know what I mean? And 3 months of yoga practice, like, just took care of it. But the thing is about doing, it's about showing up. It's a part of, it's a maintenance platform for your mind and your body, your spirit, for everything, right? Strength, my core strength. I have some weightlifter friends that just laugh at me because of my core strength was so low, and it's back to being low again. But that all starts to balance itself out. And I'm starting to feel like I'm beginning to feel warmed up now. Ben, good morning. Good morning to you, mate. I'm off to bed, so good night. Thank you for stopping in, Ben. If you're tuning in just now, if you're still here with us, we do this every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But you can also check this out on demand after they post. We keep all of the live chats intact, and some of us like to go back through and then watch it at half speed and just go through and feel part and maybe even review. We're starting to work because there are so many of us that are here together so frequently. We're starting now to brainstorm what happens after we do the last live stream of the year, right? So we're here until the end of 2025 at least. I mean, I would assume that we'll keep going, but well, how do we celebrate a thing like this where we've come so far together? We're alone practicing together. How do we celebrate something like that? I know Mr. Tortorello is already writing some songs about state parks, and as the season changes, it will be a little easier for us to get out into state parks, a little more comfortable, and start exploring that. So we have a summer coming up. So this is where I wanted to start working on goals, goal systems, you know. So we have 3-month goals. So where do we see ourselves in the summer? This summer, are we writing songs? Are we, you know, proficient with the left and right hands? Are we, you know, better people? Do we feel more balanced and grounded in our approach to the guitar? Where are we in 5 years? Where's the 5-year plan? So those are the kinds, those are the terms in which I think about my approach to almost anything. I try to have those short-term plans so that I can really operate and see progress, observe progress. But then there's a longer-term goal where I feel it's beneficial to me to understand where I'm going to be. And hopefully it works well for you too. I'm sure it will, because those typically tend to work well for everybody. I'm not leaving, so 26 is in my thought. Play domination, exclamation point. Are there 2 or 3 exclamations there? That's 3, that's serious. Oh yeah, that's really serious. Don't be worried ever, because it is just a ride. I will, Anthony. Yeah, that's good. The live chat culture is so different here from, like, I started working on TikTok a little bit, and it's just a different thing altogether. And it just felt like I want to put more time into this particular situation right here. I don't really want to divide myself too many different ways, just so I can be a dancing monkey. So I really want to mitigate that kind of thing in my life. I feel like there's a significant thing happening with morning practice, and maybe I could always improve. Where I see myself, just a little insight here, where I see myself in 3 months, I see myself doing this more. More clean is my breath, and then more balanced is my approach. But at any moment, I have access to that musical thought, and it translates immediately into this extension of my person called the guitar. That's one of my goals for 3 months down the road. And if you wanted to talk about your goal set, we're totally happy to do that in the live chat. But anyway, the absence of doubt. Facebook is more chill. Oh yeah, that's cool. TikTok, ha ha ha. I'm glad you feel that way. Don't be worried. Yeah, TikTok is funny. Never been on TikTok, never will. Yeah. Play for me, monkey. I love it. I love it that people are paying attention enough to talk back, because, you know, I wouldn't want to be part of a group that doesn't have the courage to say what's on their minds, you know. You know, it's a good thing to do. It's a good, healthy thing to do. Just to share like that. I appreciate that. Who's using Facebook in 2025? Okay. All right, we have time for one more exercise. No, we don't. All right, we're going specifically, we're dropping the old E minor bomb, and that's what we're doing. Just simply E minor, and it's really just forward rolls, and we're working on, and it still feels like I don't have it under control. You know, I don't know, after all these years of playing E minor. So it's just a simple forward roll. Hey, Matico, Mr. Dillard, how are you doing today? It's good to see you. So you've reached the point, if you're just tuning in, we're just working on E minor. We're not really working on anything in particular other than the right hand development. This is day 2 of Fingerstyle week. And I put this little black chalk on my hand just to draw attention to my index finger. So we have this. We're not even doing combination rolls yet. So all we're doing is forward roll. And this to me is super fast, right? I would like to do this if you have the patience to hang out with me just for a minute while I just do this at half notes. And this allows me to get corrected so what happens here with my right hand when we're working, it would be more like a rotational issue. So if I roll my hand out too much, then I get you know, you can see what that does to the angle of the hand. If I roll it in too much, I'm going to, you know, I'm missing something. There's a sweet spot here somewhere. And it's really up to you and your ergonomic, your situation, to figure out where the best approach is, and the shape of your fingernails, and all of those things factor into. But keeping these fingers together is important so that we have a relative idea of where these things live. If the thumb has to separate from the group in order to play a running, to play like a different bass line, then that's okay. Then, but that's another thing that we talk about. So the right hand, typically we would all start together on a, you know, like a D add 6/9. With an 11 in it, or E minor 7 with a D chord in the bass, and we would start where all of these fingers are together, and then we'd have to introduce the you know, the string skips. So jumping directly to E minor in my mind is a little bit like skipping. It's a little bit like missing out on, you know, the full form of the basic function of the right hand, which is designed to have all of these digits be close together. And so now we have a point of 0. And then do you want the fingers to rest back on the open strings to stop the string from ringing? there's a thing called the rest stroke and a free stroke, so that's beyond the scope of today. So I would just work, to me, working this system of control right here is enough for me for probably like, you know, a week worth of work, you know what I mean? This is like, for me, to really dial in stuff like this is like, you know, this is where OCD becomes really, really helpful, right? If you have the capacity to like, if you don't have it, if you can go find it somewhere and get it, bring it home for, you know, the morning ritual, this is a good thing to have now. You know, if you don't have it, go get it. So this is a forward roll, and so I'm going to do the same thing. Instead of stopping each string, I'm going to do the same thing and let these notes ring. So now I've introduced space between the string set and my right hand approach. So that destabilizes the right, or my picking hand. All right, and that's just the forward roll, and we haven't really even talked about anything yet, right? So the trick here is for me to start thinking about, do I want the notes to be under full control? Do I want only to highlight just one string by not choking it? Do I want to highlight the G string because for the purpose of melody? So, for example, so there are a number of reasons why we might develop any permutation you can think of is probably worth practicing. That's the scary part, right? That's the scary part. But then, you know, the systematic approach of going through things, you know, chord by chord, page by page, word by word, chord by chord, like in the chord chemistry series that I have. It's the chord chemistry, Ted Green's chord chemistry series right here on my YouTube channel. It's a playlist that, if you haven't checked it out yet, I would highly recommend you check it out. And we're literally walking word by word through that. You know, it's Skunk Baxter was saying it was like the best chord book ever written. Yeah, what is OCD? I don't really know what it is. I have, you know, I think it's like, I think the clinical term is the medical journals calls it obsessive compulsive disorder. And for me, that's like, how can that be a disorder? That's like what my daily practice is. It's like every day. I mean, how do you be a guitar? How are you a guitar player without it? So I would go get a 2-pack. All right, so we're starting with the D chord, and we have oh, Mr. Sandman, right on. Skate or dine, don't forget breakfast. Yeah, breakfast is happening right after this. I had some nice popovers that I made. I don't know if you guys are into cooking at all, but we cook a lot in this house, and made some nice popovers in the old cast iron pans. And so forward rolls. Now we've got reverse rolls going, and Mr. Sandman is just such a great place to begin for really attacking, like really approaching good quality, thoughtful right hand and melodic, you know, rhythmic organization. Wonderful stuff to do. Great recommendation, Anthony. Thank you so much for sharing. That's great work. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1. Yeah, there you go. So that's another thing, right? And we have Mark is saying 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So what are we doing? Are you doing string numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Good. Yeah, so you're thinking right now, sounds delicious. Have a wonderful day, sir. Come back. We're here every day this 2025. Skate or dine, man. I love to talk about skating. Oh yeah, you could probably read that I'm a skater from like an old school skater. So love to see you here again. 7:30 a.m. every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard. We're working on guitar growth, and yeah, gonna play Nutshell. Man, that gets at. I did that transcription on my YouTube channel here at Jason Carey Guitar, and it didn't get as many views as I was hoping it would. You know, so if you go back and you watch that, Brendan, if you watch Nutshell on my channel, if you wouldn't mind commenting on what you think I could do for a song like that to get more views on it. If you wouldn't mind, I would love to have you consult on that. Do you know what I mean? Just drop me a line in the comment if you don't mind, and tell me what WTF is wrong with that video, because I thought, man, that's such a great, I think it was Nutshell, and I just love the song. I just love them so much. It's hard to express how much I love those guys. Street skating, too hard on the bones. Oh yeah, we've got a beautiful ramp. We've got a few ramps are huge up here now, like concrete skate parks. Oh dude, yeah, I've got to get back on my board. The OJ2s and the old indies. No pads though, you know what I mean? So there's no I used to use, what are they called, riser pads? I used to use those, but now I just I don't. Let's take a look. All right, so reverse roll, sorry. So reverse rolls are just simply going backwards, you know, working on finger control. Open it up, lock it down. A lot can be accomplished with the blade of the picking hand, also with the blade, of the fretting hand. Also, we have this new technology, just invented, this thing called a combination roll, where you go all the way to the top of the forward roll, and then we return down to the place from whence we came. So instead of counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, we're going to be counting, or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, with the instead of doing that with the forward rolls and reverse rolls, we're starting to count in different meters. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, and so that turns into a tertiary group, or a ternary, a triplet grouping, which is really handy for that kind of work. I'm getting a little bit of a hangnail on my thumb. It's coming back, but I broke it off this weekend, so if you bear with me on that. So the forward rolls and the reverse roll, and then the forward roll combining itself into the reverse roll. We have a lot of ground to cover just in that one little bit. So I wanted to open it up in case anyone had a question. I know I've felt it. It's like right in there, I see Kevin come up. He's like, yep, end of session, dudes. Let's get going. We've got next thing to move on to. And Kevin, I so appreciate that. Hello, any practice routine you'd like to share? You know what? I would like to share. Oh, bummer. I just hate to hear guitar headstocks. You can glue it back together though. I haven't met a thing that's broke that can't be fixed. So be confident that it can be fixed. It's just a little time, and if you have to learn how to do it yourself, I would recommend doing it yourself. But if it's your first time, you can observe someone else helping you with it. That's cool. It's a sad day when that happens. It makes grown men and women cry, but you'll get it fixed. And if you don't, let me know and we'll see what we can do about helping you out with that. Arthur got, let's see, just broke my 𝗵𝗏. Yeah, that's like heartbreaking. Hello, any practice routine you'd like to share? Just because we're leaving now, we're at the tail end. I'm thanking you now for being here with us. And Arthur, I would encourage you to be here tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a great place to be if you're looking for a practice routine, if you're looking to develop a practice routine, because we're talking about everything over the span of this whole year, 2025. We're going through, this is only focusing on morning ritual and basic fundamental technical development, which gives us access to all of the other things, whether we want to play Luke Bryan, Joe Pass, you know, Albert Lee, B.B. King, you know, Pat Martino, I mean, Kurt Rosen. We have access to a lot, Pierre Ben Suzanne, slack key, Hawaiian style guitar. All of that stuff is happening right here, right now. But it has to play out over a period of time, which those get-rich-quick schemes don't always share with us. Do you know what I mean? You buy the $1,000 course, and then you know, and then I've got to go through a year or 2 or 3 of development, and you know, this is literally a free live stream for all of 2025, where we have a very high quality live chat culture, full of guitar players from all over the planet, who are all coming here to practice guitar together, alone together, and then at the end of 2025, we'll be able to take the first video that we did, observe its technique, take the last video of 25 that we did, and observe that technique, and then just really start comparing and contrasting. What does an hour a day, 5 days a week buy us for, you know, gains, for guitar gains and growth? And we are going to do exactly that. So I would encourage you to be here. And if you have friends who you think could benefit from being here with us and would enjoy it, I would also encourage you and thank you for helping us to share this live stream opportunity with others. And it's that's a good way for you to help us. Okay. Baba Mir, every day, same time is, yeah, the same every day, every weekday, every morning, every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's for the entire year. So be here if you want. You know, it's easy to get, it's easy to do, and everyone is already gaining from it. And I mean, I'm gaining from it. I'm not sure, I can't speak for everyone, but I've heard feedback from at least 4 people. And that's probably not a big number in the mind of many, but in my mind, to hear back from 4 people, that's a big number, especially when that's representative of 3% of the 3%, right? So it's a big number to me, and it's all good news. Mark, a onesie and a twosie, and I'm putting on my shoesies. Thank you, man. Art got, yes, still, as always, thank you, Jason. It's great work you're doing. Isn't a rhythm what's supposed to be most important? It is. We discuss all of those things, and so I'm going to encourage you, Art, Mr. Gut, to come back tomorrow at 7:30, and then we'll start. If you start with a question at the beginning of the hour, then we make that, we help that question to go through the entire, we keep that in mind as we all proceed through the morning, okay? So please come back and visit us again, and thank you for being here today. And until we meet again tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard, I'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you very much for Jamir for coming on board. I appreciate it. And we'll see you tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard. And until that time, I wish you happy picking.